on here, I'm going to pass it off to her so that she can just take it away. She just did a Zoom call about the law of intuition and the law of magnetism. So we're going to kind of combine those two today. But while we're waiting for her, I'm going to read off a little bit of what these laws mean. And I have to admit, I feel a little bit unprepared. This is the joy of Plexus, right? And I just posted about it. I am in the middle of nowhere. Thank God I have a service. I'm so thankful. In the middle of nowhere, camping with my daughter at this Women in the Outdoors event. And so while I'm doing that, I can still do a little bit of work and still just got a deposit today from Plexus. Woohoo. But anyway, so I feel a little bit frazzled, but when I read over, because we all kind of, I don't know if you guys are like me, when I think of the law of intuition, it seems like voodoo, right? But there's a lot of really good things when I was reading about kind of catching myself up on it. So I want to go over some of those key point things. The law of intuition, leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. The law of intuition, I keep clicking it off on my phone. The law of intuition is based on facts coupled with instincts plus other intangible factors such as employee morale, organizational momentum, and relationship dynamics. The law of intuition often separates the great leaders from the merely good ones. Leadership intuition is the ability of a leader to read what's going on. For that reason, I say that leaders are readers. Leaders are readers of their situations. Leaders pick up on details that might elude others. They sense people's attitudes. They are able to detect the chemistry of a team. They know the situation before they have all of the facts. Leaders are readers of trends. Leaders discern. Oh, and Bridget's on here. Hey, Bridget.
Hey, guys.
I'm going to stop.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, hold on.
I'm going to stop what I was talking about, and we'll hand it off to you because I know you're just leading us in.
Okay, what was that? Sorry.
No, I was just saying I'm going to stop what I was saying, and I'm going to pass it off to you so we can bank on that time. Thank you so much for squeezing us in. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you. I hope you guys can hear me okay. No, I have some time. Don't worry. Justin's just going to drive me over here for a minute. But thank you, everybody, for having me on. Let me just kind of see who's on. Yay! Hi, guys. How are you? Okay. Intuition. That is, the law of intuition is probably the hardest law to understand and the hardest law to teach, honestly. But I love it. I learned a lot when I was studying it. And so you guys can hear me okay, Rossi? It's loud I'm on an airport. So, but I love that we can work this business around our lives, right? Not our lives around our business. I know, Rossi, you're at Women in the Outdoors and everybody's got things going on. So just bear with me. Okay, there we go. Real quick, Austin is a pilot here at Bentonville Airport, and so he got invited to one of the Walton brothers, who is one of the owners of Walmart, and to his birthday party. And so he said, Mom, yeah, I'm going to go to Walton so-and-so's birthday party, and he's walking out the door, and I'm like, Walton? Is that one of the, anyway, and so he's got all his airplanes here and everything. So they're outside. I'm good in here. And thank you for coming on tonight and taking time out of your night as well. But okay, intuition. You know, a lot of you know my story. I was a little bit nervous about joining this network marketing company and running a business because I would look at Rhonda and I would look at her leadership and the way she spoke, and I thought, you know, I don't know if I can do that. One thing I did have, I feel, is intuition. I feel that intuition is either a gift or a skill that can be taught. And so I'm going to kind of go over the law of intuition, and then I'm going to show you how you can learn intuitive and how you can learn those skills to help you in your business, okay? So click. I don't know who that is, Rossi or Darcy. Do you mind muting them? Somebody's, oh, maybe it's Linda. Linda, hi. Okay, so intuition can be taught, or it's also a gift. So you want to remain teachable. And excuse me while I look down at my notes. I taught this class about 3 weeks ago, and so I'm kind of refreshing myself over. But a lot of our ideas and our inspirations and decisions that we can come from our intuition, okay? All of that we've had in life, what we read, who we surround ourselves with, that all plays into who we are and the decisions that we make and our creativity. And I feel like intuition is our sixth sense. I feel that it is God's gift to us, and I feel that it is Him within us. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So intuition is thinking without thinking logically. And so a combination of this could be reason, experience, information, and intuition can be very powerful in your life and in your business. And so I'm going to relate a lot of this to our business, okay? Sorry, the sun's about to set here. Okay, so how do you, when it doesn't come natural to you, you know, a lot of times people say, you know, Bridget, I had a girl message me yesterday, and she's showing me, she's like, I'm messaging 200 people, nobody's closing, I get people interested, but they're not closing the deal. How do you close the deal? And I said, can I see your screenshots, or can I listen to how you talk to people? And I just don't think she has that intuition of what to say to people, okay? And so I'm trying to coach her through that and trying to teach her how to get that skill. But how to develop these intuition skills is to train yourself to be aware of it. Be aware of your intuition. I believe that we need to be still before the Lord, be still in our lives so that we can, you know, think. I know that when I first started, I was pregnant with my 7th baby, and then I had my baby when I went gold, and it was just a really busy time. And I remember Addie King, who's one of our uplines, she said, Bridget, you need to stop and you need to schedule in time, if you have to, in your planner, to think, to actually take time and reflect back on business and on yourself and on why you're doing this, and have that moment of silence and being still before the Lord as well. Because that is where I feel like that intuition, that God within us is going to be prompting us. I feel like intuition is God's prompting, okay? When He is going to prompt us into, you know what? For example, I'm going to give you an example of how I feel like intuition has helped me in my business. You know, I have some sick friends, and so I know that they need plexus, but my intuition is saying, you know what? I want you to wait, and I want you to hold off and pray for them and kind of wait for that moment. Okay, that would be intuition, where logically speaking, we're told to reach out to everybody, right? But that intuition kind of plays a part, and I need to be sensitive with her because she's going through some things. Do you get what I'm saying? And that intuition plays a huge part in our businesses. And especially in mine, I look over the last year, you know, Bridget, how did you go diamond in a year? And a lot of it was intuition, and I thank the Lord for that, because I really slacked a lot of the other skills. And so I know that the Lord made up for that when that inside prompting, like, you know, you should do this and don't do that, Bridget, and slow down here and go there. Yes, like the gift of discernment, I completely agree. I believe it's a gift. But I also think that we can teach our downline to be intuitive. Am I saying that right? Intuitive. We can teach them and learn how to pick up that skill. Another thing to make decisions based on intuition is to be on top of the industry and listening to our teams and what their needs are. Okay, if we're more aware of what our team needs, we can make more intuitive decisions. And also goes with our customers and their needs and the surrounding, and what's the trends, what's trending in our industry right now. All of that, the knowledge that we get. Okay, so knowledge, experience, that all comes into play when we're making those intuitive decisions. So, all right, if you guys saw what fast I am in my notes, but this is when you get a blue as one of your leaders. So, okay, so here's a couple quotes that I wrote down that I love. Intuition will tell the thinking mind where to look next. The only real valuable thing is intuition. That's Albert Einstein. there is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. Intuition does not come to an unprepared. This one spoke to me a lot because sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. Y'all good? Rossi, you guys, can you hear me, Mandy? Okay. This, when I read this quote, intuition does not come to an unprepared mind, that really hit me spiritually in my business, you know, and personally, because if we're not in God's word, right, and we're not studying prepared, how can we make biblical intuitive choices? And I feel like that's God's prompting in our mind, and I'm going to go over that, and it was kind of like a light bulb moment that hit me. But also in our business, if we're not prepared and we're not knowledgeable in things, how can we make those quick intuitive decisions like, no, I'm not going to do that, or yes, I'm going to do this? And there's a lot of important decisions that we need to make as leaders, especially as our teams start growing and we're working with different personalities and people and women and all of that. Okay, intuition, it really does play a huge part, and I never thought of that. I kind of skipped over the chapter of intuition because I thought the law of intuition, you know, I want more of the law of magnetism and how, but really the law of intuition can be one of the most important laws in our lives and in our businesses. Okay. So I believe that intuition can really help when you're trying to in sales. I feel like intuition is a secret weapon for the sales person. It's that gut feeling. When we talk about gut health, this is that gut feeling of where to go from here. And I feel like my intuition, my gut feeling was what really prompted me to sign up with Plexus. I remember like no logical reason why I should be doing this. I'm busy, you know, I don't need one more thing on my plate, but I remember taking a shower one day, be still, right? I didn't have kids around me. And I remember just like thinking, and it was almost God's prompting, like, just do it. And for months after that, it was constantly, but I'm stubborn, and so I wasn't listening. But I really feel like it was God's prompting and my intuition that said, you know what, I'm going to run with this. So intuition often communicates its message through passion, which I love to hear that, because I feel like a lot of my passion and excitement is that intuition. It's that inner, like, you know that you know that you know that you just go for it, right? Even in homeschooling, that was another intuition. And I know, think of in your life where you feel like you've had that, like, yes, I'm going to do it. And that's going to come out. And so enthusiasm comes from the Greek word, help me out, Rossi, Mandy, you guys probably know, or Darcy, E-N-T-H-E-O-S, enosis. Anyway, that word means God within. So enthusiasm comes from the Greek word enosis, meaning God within. Anyway, that was a huge light bulb moment for me. I think I was telling you that, Rossi. The intuition often communicates its message through passion and excitement. And that is God within us. He makes us. He has that. That all goes back to how we're made, how we're wired, and that's what's coming out. And so I just love that. And that kind of goes back to be you, right? Be you in this business. So here's some of my intuition where I feel like I need to share, where I really wanted my team to be, and what I want to base my business on. Okay. And this comes from, you know, my intuition again. So I feel like it's really important to love your team. To really love your team, Dave Ramsey says, love your team well, treat them like family, and they will act like family. And I really believe that's why our team is one of the fastest growing teams in all of Plexus, because we have a bigger purpose that we're working for, and I feel like a lot of us are connected in other ways, and we've got each other's back. You know, if we're going through a hard time or somebody needs prayer, our team is there. We're not just co-workers or sideline people. We are actually like in it together. Rossi's famous quote that I steal all the time, because in it together. I really believe that when you feel like you're connected and in it with people, so give praise. These are simple gestures that can go a long way. So really love on your team and praise them. People work harder for praises, not raises. Seldom use your power. I think that it's very important to be humble as a leader as you continue to grow, and really seldom use that power like I'm a diamond or I'm a ruby or I'm a senior gold, you know. Dave Ramsey, again, can you tell I was reading some of his books? Dave Ramsey says, if you want employees, then boss them. Boss them around. If you want team members, explain why you want to do things. And that's something that I have to take a step back and say, you know what, team, why I was thinking we should do this. What do you think? You know, and kind of get people's opinions. Never use your power or above them. And surround yourself with rock stars. That's one of my favorites because I truly believe that is also the law of environment. I don't know if you guys have done that one yet. Surround yourself with people that are rock stars and that are going to motivate you. You know, that level of leadership. You know, if you're hanging around the ones and twos, you want to hang around people that are higher than you. So what does that do? That encourages you to grow. And then people are going to want to join you, not the ones and twos, right? You're going to hire people. So in Proverbs says, he who walks with the wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. So in other words, hang out with the rock stars. Cast your vision and know your why. That is so important. Work for something bigger than yourself, and you will work harder and smarter. And if your team, and you can help your team, the people under you, realize why they're working and their why, they will work harder and smarter and learn how to use that intuition to fuel that fire. So the key to becoming a great leader is serving your team and everyone around you by putting them first. Okay, you'll be paid back in full loyalty, hard work, and extraordinary results. And so that is kind of it on the intuition, but I hope that was encouraging or inspiring to some of you. And that's it. Yeah. How are you, Rossi? You there? You good? Okay. Well, that's my portion. And again, I just wanted to say I'm so proud of this team for taking time to invest in personal growth. I did it backwards. A lot of you know that I got to Diamond in a year and had to kind of keep my head above water and learn how to lead these people. And that's why I'm so thankful for my leaders above me who took it on when I couldn't. And you know, so now I'm spending a lot of time in personal growth and books, and I believe that is so important in this business that we're in. And anyway, I'm so proud of this team, and I love you all, and I know that you have a lot of these characters already in your lives. So nice seeing your faces. I miss you all.
Thank you so much, Bridget. And thank you for taking, and last minute, like I just asked her a few days ago if she would do this. So thank you so much for talking.
No problem at all. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. All right, Russ.
Marty, love you.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, so good gives us some nuggets, right? So she kind of went over what the law of intuition is. I wanted to touch on some things. So Mary Kay, of all people, but MLM like champion, right? I was going over some of her quotes, and I believe that it was so successful because of the law. She followed the law of intuition and probably didn't even know that it was a law, right? So I wanted to read a few of her quotes that I think really, if you just go and look up her quotes, a lot of them deal with this. But and it's because it's a people. We're a business built on people and relationships. And so that law of intuition comes into play with our people, with our team. And I'm just learning this too. I think to be intuitive about your team, you have to be in tune with them, to tune into them and to ask them what their needs are, pay attention to them. And so some of her quotes, number one, everyone has an invisible sign hanging from their neck saying, make me feel important. Never forget this message when working with people. If we treated everyone like they were the most important people, can you imagine talking to somebody or having somebody talk to you and they're tuned into you? Have you ever talked to somebody who's not tuned into you, that's kind of halfway there? All the time. And I'm guilty of that all the time. But when you're talking to somebody, tune into them. With your team members, tune into them. Don't just send them messages. Ask how they are. Don't settle for the one word responses like, I'm doing good. If you send a message out that says, how are you doing today? What are your needs for Plexus? I'm doing good. Everything's great. Don't settle there. Don't stop there. Dig deeper. Make them become vulnerable with you. That's how you can be in tune with them and know their needs and meet their needs better. Another one of her quotes, let me find it. Everyone wants to be appreciated. So if you appreciate someone, don't keep it a secret. It is. People work for praises, not raises. It's so true. Our people, our ambassadors, even our customers want to be praised for their milestones, those small victories. Those are so important because those small things are what take us to those bigger victories. So tune into those small victories. Also, I'm just getting ready to put a post on our team page on the team members going silver. I'm going to personally coach and bring in all of you guys to personally coach our people who want to go silver. That's huge. That's huge and such a milestone in this business, even for our wholesale ambassadors to go silver and can you imagine if they had their products paid for? Be in tune to those things. When you heard Bridget's advice on not using rank or not using position or not using any of those things, I completely and wholeheartedly agree with that. Get on your people's level, get where they're at. I love, and with every law, I think of my kids. And so I was thinking, I did a post once on how our kids want to feel important and they want to feel special. And I even did in our last Zoom call that kind of, Rhonda and I were talking about talking to your kids, asking them, do they feel respected? Do they feel important? Because that's where it has to start first is with our kids. But I focus on getting on in eye level. We usually talk down to our kids and it's just because we're taller than them usually, but getting down on your knees, looking them in the eyes. That's what we want to do with our people too. They're so important that we're going to get on their level. Start with your kids, start with your husband and your family and practice that intuition and being in tune with them, praying for them, praying for your ambassadors, praying for your team members, praying for your kids and your family. That helps us because like what she said, it's that prompting. If we're saved and the Holy Spirit is at work in us, He is prompting us and moving us. That's what that is. It's not any weird voodoo. It's just how God moves in us. There was another quote here. And then I want to touch on, we're going to kind of go over two today, but very lightly because the law of magnetism is a very small law, but super important. Where was it? She has a post that says, or a quote that says, let me see if I can find it. We treat our people like royalty. This is what Plexus is so good at as a company. We treat our people like royalty. If you honor and serve the people who work for you, they will honor and serve you. Doesn't that explain our company, this company that we're in? That's what they do for us. So, making people feel important, treating them with honor, showing our appreciation. These are ways we can tune into them and be in practice that kind of inner, I was actually just talking to Gabrielle, and that's kind of why I wanted her on this call, but we have people in our lives that we maybe are so comfortable with that we kind of fall out of tune with. And to ask them, actually, and my mom, this is a perfect example too. My mom, the other day, we talked on the phone. She called me like an hour later and asked me, are you okay? She was in tune with me. She felt something. I was talking fine like normal and my upbeat, try to be upbeat in all things, right? But because she's in tune with me, she noticed there was something, and I was that important to her that she made an effort and came down to my level to find out what was wrong, what was going on. That's what we need to do. And teaching our kids that, be in tune with their friends, the people that they're surrounded with, and honing in on what their needs are and meeting those needs if we can. So anyways, the law of intuition sounds like voodoo, but it's really just tuning into your people, tuning into those people around you. And how do we do that? We pay attention to them, get on their level, be vulnerable with us, ask hard questions. Don't be afraid. It says my internet connection is unstable. Can you guys hear me okay? You can hear me? Okay. Don't be afraid of the answers. Just ask the questions. You know, sometimes we're afraid to ask those questions like, how are you doing on your products? Or how are you, you know, what do you need? Because we're afraid of what their response is going to be. Well, that's selfish on our part. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Deal with them. Deal with the answers when you get, you know, cross that bridge when you get there. Okay, I want to touch on the law of magnetism really quick, and I was going to read it because it's very short, but I think it's so important because, and I'm going to go off of Bridget's, be yourself, but ready to grow. That's what I want to encourage with the law of magnetism. Okay, law of magnetism. Who you are is who you attract. In most situations, you draw people to you who possess the same qualities as you do. Who here would say that they have a team full of people, or the majority of the people that are kind of like them? I think I have a lot on my team that are very similar to me. Homeschooling moms, you know, I've got a lot of blues on here. We like to party and have fun. You know, you attract the people that you are. You attract those similar people. Who you are is who you attract. If you want to attract better people, become the kind of person you desire to attract. So be you. The law of magnetism, what I took from that, be me. But if I want to attract a versatile people, different people, I need to become and stretch myself outside of my comfort zones. You don't have to stay, I'm blue, I don't have to stay blue. I need to access and hone in on some of my red and green and yellow so that I can attract those people too. Grow yourself. It goes back, the law of magnetism takes us back to the law of the lid. Don't stop here. Raise that lid. If you want to attract more people, if you have a team full of people that are just like you, especially if you're an introvert, the introverts need to listen to me. If you're an introvert, you are going to attract introverts. That could be very hard for your team. If that's the only people you're attracting, that is hard. You're going to have to stretch yourself. You're going to have to go outward a little bit so that you can attract some of those more extroverted people. And you want to make that duplicatable to your introverts. Those introverted people on your team, you need to ask them to stretch themselves. And you can't do that unless you're stretching your own self. So that's what I really wanted to stress, because the law of magnetism in a business really is hard for those introverted people. When you're in an MLM, it's hard to be an introvert. You have to be an extrovert. You have to go outside of yourself. So you have to raise your lid a little bit. I'm an extrovert, but that's I guess my nature is to be an extrovert. My pride keeps me introverted sometimes. You know, I don't want to be vulnerable a lot of times, so that makes me kind of clam up sometimes in some situations. And so for those people too, or for me, it means like laying down my pride and being vulnerable and you know, doing things like what I've said in my first, if you guys could go back and see some of my very first Zoom call, I think I made the room really dark. I didn't want anybody to see my face. You know, those are the times where my extrovert, it doesn't reach. That's my lid. And I'm like, I would never, actually, I think I told my mom this 100 times over. I will never do a Zoom call. I have 2 in an hour's time tonight. So it's stretching. I'm not asking you guys to do anything that I'm not willing to do. I'm stretching myself constantly, making myself vulnerable, putting myself out there, because I want to be a magnet for all kinds of people. I don't want what I have, these Plexus products, this Plexus opportunity and business, I don't want it to be available to only the people that are like me. I want it to be made available to everyone I'm in contact with. So I urge you guys, especially the introverts, especially the prideful people like me, to stretch yourselves and be vulnerable and take those walls down. And remember, this is a business built on relationships. For that, you have to to be a magnet for all kinds of people. Because this is a business built on relationships, you have to tap into that intuition, and that you have to tune into your people and your ambassadors. You have to take yourself to their level. It means you have to sacrifice some of your time, a lot of times, you know, and reaching out to them, and not just for plexus. One thing that I've really been trying to do in my business is my ambassadors. A lot of times it's easy to just go to plexus always, right? I'm always talking about plexus. I now set aside certain hours in my week to reach out to my ambassadors on a personal level. Can I pray for you? What do you need? How is your family? How are your kids? How is your marriage? You know, I want my ambassadors to be vulnerable with me. I want to be a safe, I want to trust me, and I want to be there for them, you know, so that I can walk with them through this journey. So anyway, that's kind of my recap. I was really trying to keep this at 30 minutes. So we just hit 31 minutes. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they can add to this, or any examples or anything on the law of intuition or the law of magnetism? Anything come to mind? No? Mom, you have anything?
I have one thing to ask.
Yes.
So you guys had mentioned with reading this book, and I know they say, you know, with team pages and stuff, once you start growing a team, when would you recommend with starting with personal development? Because I hit Senior Ruby, and then now it's a whole year later, and my points have backslid, and I'm just now getting to the personal development part. Well, there's probably would have helped me out well sooner.
Yes. You know, I just gave this book, or told my daughter about this book. I want my kids to read this book. I think personal growth and development, I always thought same thing was voodoo and weird, and I didn't like the terminology, and I did not understand the magnitude of how this changes our lives. You know, these random rules that we really are just attributes and characteristics and character qualities that we should be developing even when we're young. I wish too, Samantha, that I had this book before I even started Plexus. I wished I had it, because it's changing the life of my family. It's changing my marriage. It's changing my relationship with my kids. This stupid book, and just realizing that I need to grow myself and not stay stuck all the time. Anyway, yeah, so I think right away. And that's why, you know, we push this, and I'm so thankful for the 10 or 11 we have, you know, on these calls, because this is so important. And I think if we just keep stressing this to our team members, that if I could go back, I would do it over this way, having all of this knowledge, because I could have done a better job. I could have invested in my team better. I knew nothing. I didn't know how to sacrifice for people. I didn't know how to invest in people. I didn't know how to lead people. I don't know how to train people. I knew nothing. It's completely by the grace of God that I've made it this far, and it will be the grace of God that takes if I go any further. But these have been monumental, learning this and how to grow myself and raise my lid. And, you know, even these things like the law of intuition, before I would have been like, until I started studying it and learning what that really means and what that really looks like. And it's not voodoo. It's really things that not only help me and my family, but those people that are in my life. You know, I'm able to affect them better and more effectively than before. And so I think, you know, if I could have done this as a 17-year-old girl like my daughter is, that's when I would have done it, you know? So that's what I think about that. But any other questions? And Mandy, you're so sweet. I'm not. I'm a hot mess. I'm the kind of person, okay, this is the kind of person that I am. If I know a need right now, I will do whatever I can to meet that need. If you need dinner, if you need the coat off my back, if you need whatever, if it's right now and you say it to me, I am all game. Like whatever, take whatever, I'll do whatever. I will lay my life down. I am not good at tuning in. So this was huge for me. I am not good at tuning in and sacrificing when it's not convenient. It's easy when it's convenient. If I have to work for it or work at it or push or be vulnerable, then it gets a little bit harder. So that's where this comes into play. So Mandy, you're so sweet. because I swear all my friends see me through rose-colored glasses, and that's grace, right? You guys are God's extension of grace to me. So that's where I'm at with my, investing in people on that. I am having to grow myself in planning and preparing for that investment so that I can meet people's needs before I even know they need anything, if that makes sense. Sorry, I could talk forever, but anyone else, Mom?
Well, I was just going to say I have a surprise gift, and I drew Lady's number, her name.
Maybe.
Send me her address. That would be great. And I
Aww.
think this law of intuition is so much like the gift of discernment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even want to have it. But
yeah.
It can
just kind of, it's like being present. That's what I've been stressing. That's like my what do you call it, focus for this past year has just been be present, be there, and if we're there and if we're present, you can get the vibe, for lack of a better term, of people and your team. And but sometimes I think we get so busy and so caught up in other stuff that we're not fully there, we're not present, we're not intentional. And so those are things that I'm working on as a person and in my Plexus business, to be there, to be present, and to be intentional on purpose, do things on purpose and not just accidental. So anyway, law of intuition, law of magnetism, we're doing both of those this week. So we'll go on to, is it the 10th law next time. But if nobody has any other questions, we'll kind of end this call. And then, if you have any questions afterwards that you think of too, just post them on the post. After Mom does the Zoom call, she posts a Zoom call on the team page. Do it on there. And I want to totally thank you guys, those who are taking over the team page for this week and weekend. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. I do have service out here most times. Sometimes it gets a little sketchy, but I'm not able to get on my phone like I would like to. So I'm trying to go on there and, comment on your guys' posts and things. But I want to thank you guys. This is a team effort. And this is when I'm like, I could not have done this, right? None of us do this on our own. It's a total team effort. So I'm so thankful for you guys. I love you guys. And anyway, all my Bakersfield girls, next year you all need to come to this event, Widow, Women in the Outdoors. It's so awesome. Beth, you're coming with me next year. All right. Anybody else have anything to say? We'll close up.
Big reveal.
The big reveal. Wait, so is anyone having a party? I know Linda's having a party. So all of the Bakersfield, Kern County, Tehachapi people, it's in Bakersfield. So, and it's in Rosedale area. So you guys go to that big reveal. I'm going to be on, hopefully from here, but I wish I could go. So Shannon, are you going to a big reveal party, or are you doing it at home?
I actually have a family get together that day, an annual family get together. So I've been really torn about whether or not to do a big reveal party. And I've kind of come to terms with that I'm going to be at my family's get together. And maybe we'll sneak off to I know that I'm going to go off at 1:30 and attend the big reveal online. So I'm hoping some of my family will unknowingly kind of get sucked into doing that with me.
Yes.
And they'll see like this amazing thing.
Yes.
So I really want to do a big reveal, but I'm trying to remember, like a party, but I'm trying to remember that those people that are on my team that are not doing anything, I'm trying to remember that quote of it's better to, better to give birth than to raise the dead. And so I'm trying to remember that maybe maybe I just need to focus on going to this thing with my family, enjoying that, and then maybe that I will just have new births for my business instead of people that are saying, I kind of want to work the business and just maybe you're never going to.
Yeah.
So.
And still, practicing that. We don't want to just drop them like a hot potato because they're no longer working for us, Just kind of keep going back to them, I think, is important, because I still do that. I still go through my whole ambassador list every single month. And I still say, okay, So, you know, touching base with them, even if it's not about plexus. But let me tell you, I'm at this event, but you better believe that at big reveal time, I'm pulling out my computer and everyone around me is going to hear hooting and hollering when this big reveal happens. So everybody at Widow is going to be excited. We do have some plexus girls here, so I know they'll hoot and holler with me. I'll make Gabrielle do it. She's loud, right?
Be in the middle of a big hip hop boot camp, so I'm hoping during lunch break I can jump on there. So
Yes. Oh, well, good. All right, so there will probably be a lot of stuff happening on our team page on Saturday. I know a bunch of the girls are going to be posting. And post your pictures of your big reveal, where you're at, even if it's an impromptu in the closet of your family get-together. Post a picture so we can get our teams excited and our whole, you know, right, that ripple effect, right? And I want to encourage you guys, one more thing. I want to encourage you, I was just telling Mom about this, we're in a business where we have to drag our people until they catch fire. Don't be discouraged if your team is, you know, like out of steam, can't handle it. Drag them with you. Like, what's that ohana? No one left behind. Like, don't give up on them. Keep dragging them with you. Keep breathing life into your team and into your ambassadors. And don't be discouraged if you're not getting any feedback. Drag them until they catch fire. You know, keep blowing on those little, you know, little flecks of nothing that you're getting. And, you know, keep going. Don't stop, right? Don't be discouraged. If your team's not excited, you'll be excited enough for all the rest of them, right? All right. All right. Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Call me, text me, whatever. I have service here. I just can't get on my phone as much as I would like. So thank you, Mom, for recording this call. We'll see you guys later. Ruth Ann, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye, Mom.